Males of Reddit, what's your creepy girl story? Was at a tennis meet freshman year of high school. And I had just finished playing for the day, so I went ahead and took a nap on the grass. A girl that I barely knew that was also on our tennis team had her friend stage a picture to where it looked like we were making out on the grass while I was asleep, and she uploaded the picture to social media saying, "I love my new boyfriend so much, heart emojis, and I got so much it for it." She also pretended we were dating after that and would come up to me in the hallway saying, "How are you, boyfriend?" Freshman year was bad. Till the woman that saved our condom from our first time together is not actually the craziest woman on the planet. Thanks guys. And always remember to bring your own rubber. TLDR. Found my house on Street View and stalked me enough that she appeared at my workplace too. I'd known this girl for years and we lost contact when she moved overseas. We were best friends prior to her moving away, but the distance helped me realize that she was delusional, controlling, and possibly a little crazy. So when she called my phone years later, I had a friend pick up and say that it wasn't my number. So anyway, she didn't have my address but had been to my house once. She went on to Google Street View and clicked her way around till she found my house and turned up at my door. My grandma let her in. I was running a high fever and was asleep on my couch, and when I woke up she was sitting next to me and staring at me. Grandma said she'd been there for half an hour. I tried being her friend again, mostly because I was worried she might burn my house down if I didn't. Didn't really work out and I tried to cut her off again. But she appeared at both my workplace and my house trying to confront me. I still have anxiety and get panic attacks because I worry that she'll turn up unexpectedly again. Not me, but my best friend has a bunch of creepy girl stories. One of the weirdest was this one girl in high school. She would join all the clubs he would. Took pictures of his class schedule so she always knew where he was. Constantly followed him around school telling him that she was the president of his fan club. One day during parent-teacher night, this man approached him as if he knew him, like, "It's so nice to finally meet you. My daughter has nothing but good things to say. I'm so glad she has found someone she connects with." And my friend is like, "Who are you?" Then the father shows the picture of my friend like, "This is you, isn't it?" Apparently the creepy girl told her parents that they were dating for a while now, and she showed her dad pictures of him. Thing is, he doesn't have a Facebook or any social media but somehow has pictures of him and his family. No one knows to this day where she got those pictures from. She wasn't invited but tagged along with friends who were, and came to my buddy's house for our friend's birthday party. We all got drunk, hopped and pushed people into the pool. Had a good old time. The next morning, my friend, the birthday boy, was awakened by this chick riding on top of him. She either played with his D mildly enough to not wake, but just arouse him, or took advantage of his morning wood. But either way, she sleep raped my friend on his birthday and proceeded to soak the couch in piss. This was one expensive ducking couch, mind you, before leaving without saying a word. A week or so goes by. She is claiming she is pregnant and needs abortion money. Friend reached out to our friend group for advice. Turns out she has been known to abuse drunk guys, and in fact it happened to another friend of ours whom she also asked for abortion money. 4 years later she's got 3 DUIs and nobody knows how many guys she has taken advantage of or scammed out of fake abortion money. Valentine's Day of my junior year of high school. 2 girls asked me out. One was super cute and timid, and I liked her a lot. The other had a boyfriend. After turning the second girl down, she went to her boyfriend and told him to beat me up because I was at fault for making her want to cheat on him. Her boyfriend apologized to me and broke up with her in the same sentence. We both received death threats from that girl for multiple weeks after that. She broke into my dorm room without me knowing and stood over me while I slept. When I woke up she invited me to a threesome. I noped the duck out of there. Lied about being married and wore a ring on her ring finger as proof of being married as a means of showing interest and trying to provoke me to cuckold a man that doesn't exist. She also sent a text to someone else right in front of me where I could easily see and clearly about me. It was about how he can't court a woman in another attempt to provoke me to somehow be interested in her. Never mind the fact that she already made herself out to be a bulleter and someone to avoid. My ex-wife is definitely the creepiest girl I've ever known. She once told me she stood over her dad while he was sleeping with a knife and fantasized about killing him. Literally had the knife at his throat before his younger sister walked in. Then she said she liked to watch me sleep. She also said after marrying me that I was only supposed to be a practice boyfriend. She said she wanted to draw on my back, so I let her, and after I fell asleep she got bored just drawing, so she pulled a razor blade and tried tracing her drawing. She also put in a few piercings when I was drunk. Despite all the nutty things she did when we were together, there's still nothing compared to the hell she's put me through once we split. At a friend's funeral, his sister started coming on to me. I ended up with her shortly after and slept with her twice. She started doing crazy, it like messaged me that she just drank bleach. It like that. Then one day she sends me a pic of a positive pregnancy test. I freak out inside, but take it all in over the next few days. Then she tells me she's extremely sick and in the hospital, apparently puking. She proceeds to tell she had a miscarriage. I'm ecstatic inside but don't let her know. I act apologetic. Then she throws a twist. There were actually twins and only one got aborted. I told her to duck off and never talk to me again. And it's been a couple of years. She never had a kid. She just constantly seeked reactions and sympathy. Crazy lady. Teenage me talking to a girl a year below. We used to play Neopets together and one day she sent me a rose with her blood on it. She came to school the next day with a bandage on her wrist. Dated a pie show who wanted to be with me 24/7. She started doing everything I did. Dip, smoke, drink, soccer, watch hockey. One day when I meet her at her dorms, her wrists were wrapped in bandages. She had third-degree burns where she held salt and ice against her wrist. When I tried to end it, she said she was pregnant because she was bulimic and would birth control right out. Then when I finally ended it, she showed up at my parents' drunk and started to cut her wrist with her car keys in the driveway. I should have known she was crazy. She was way more attractive than the girls I normally pull. So, here is a creepy picked up by a girl story. I was in a bar, having a beer, and this girl starts talking to me. She seems okay, but the bar is dark. Hard to tell. She asks me if I want to go out to her truck and smoke a joint. I say yes. When we wander out of the bar, the bright lights outside illuminate her face in a disturbing way. I ignore what I am seeing. She says, "So where is your car?" I say, "I thought we were going to your truck." She says, "No. We are going to your car." Okay. I can deal with this. We get to my car, and she says, "Where is the joint?" I say, "I thought you had a joint." She says, "No. Take me home." Okay. I can deal with this. So, I start driving her home. As I am driving, she starts rambling. "You can duck me. You can screw me. You can do anything you want to me." Okay. Maybe I can deal with this. As we approach her apartment, she says, "I sure hope my boyfriend isn't home." Oh. Duck. Can I deal with this? She points to a convenience store and says, "Pull in there and go buy me a 12-pack of beer." I say, "I'm not buying you a 12-pack. So, she gets out of the car to buy beer. I definitely cannot deal with this. Slam the car into reverse and race off into the night. I didn't go back to that bar for a year. Creepy girl. Girl stole my jacket and made a shrine to me with manga style drawings of her and I making out. The tickler. Went over for a get together at a friend's house and this girl someone brought along wouldn't stop tickling me. I ducking hate being tickled. Methodica. This really makes me feel better. I always thought I was creepy, but seems I'm just average creepy compared to those creepy thing I did. Saw a person, asked around till I found out their name. Then found everything related to them online. Found their best friend. Figured out where they study or have groups or sports. Got in one of those groups. Made friends with them. To one day being introduced to the person I was originally interested on. I don't do that anymore. She cheated on me with my friend when we were around 13. When I found out, she proceeded to lock herself into a bathroom at her Girl Scouts meeting and carve my name into her arm with a knife. I'm not a male, but I dated a girl once. We met over the internet cause we both liked the same boy. He kinda ducked us both over and we became friends. She had real issues, so did I, and was just unprepared for the world. Serious anxiety, bipolar blah blah blah. She ended up in love with me or summit and I kinda just went with it cause she was scary and I didn't want her to die or anything. It was rough. A lot of the time we spent together was me watching her passed out from Klonopin when she had an attack. We had basically had the same itty life. Abuse and trauma, but somehow I handled my it a lot better. She ended up like IDK. Trying to be me. Listening to the music I liked and reading the books. Talking the way I did. Kinda just fetishism of me. It was ducking creepy. When I told her I couldn't do it anymore, she threatened to kill herself. I asked her, please don't do that cause I'll have to call 911 right now. She just stopped talking to me. Went into treatment blah blah blah. We tried talking again a few years later when I'd had a boyfriend for a while. On the ride to Chili's with my boyfriend and friends, she says she can't do it anymore. Professes her undying love and I have to take her home. Never again. Told my friend he should break up with his GF because she was threatening to kill herself and cheat over extremely petty stuff. He told her what I said. So she told her brothers that I said I was going to abuse her. I had 3 of her brothers, all around 24 while I was 16, telling me they were going to kill me, and one of them even drove by my house with a gun pointed at me. We were 14 and she cut my initials into her wrist. Met a girl on Tinder. She seemed pretty normal, but she hid the fact she was a mom from me for about 6 weeks. Only confessed when I found out she'd been lying about taking the pill. She needed a baby daddy for her daughter and had to trap anyone by getting knocked up. I've had serious trust issues ever since. Girl told me she owned my deal because I went out on holiday with my family. That was CP. Not me, I luckily dodged most of the crazy girls, but my friend in high school had a doozy of one. She was in the cosmetology program at school and was honestly decent with hair. He and her had been talking somewhat. Nothing too serious. And he offered to let her cut his hair as practice on guys, as she didn't often get practice cutting guys' hair. When he went over there a few weeks later to drop off a calculator he had borrowed to take the SAT that weekend, she led him upstairs. On her wall, she had nailed pictures of him that she had taken without him knowing at school, as well as pictures she had taken off of his Facebook, and framed a picture she had taken of her and him together. And apparently, so he says, on that wall was a baggie of his hair that she had saved from when she cut his hair and nailed it to the wall. She'd later go on and basically declare her love for him for years in texts even after high school. He and I kinda fell out, but I think she got over it as she's engaged to someone else now. Got 2 small ones. Back in community college I was in the graphic design club. The guy running the club had an older sister who used to be at the college and would stop by after work. We are in the lab doing work when she sits next to me. Nothing unusual. I feel something. Her hand is on my knee, then my thigh. I was a desperate and lonely guy, but she looked exactly like her brother. Is 7 years older than me and I've got bad anxiety. By the time her hand was next to my D, I was cowering like an idiot. My friend walks in and asks me to take a walk with her. I immediately blurt out, yes God, please take me. Back in elementary school there was a creepy girl who I didn't know had a thing for me. Until one day her and her 2 friends pinned me against a wall so she could kiss me. 8-year-old me was not happy and ran away. A while later she's crying with the teacher who starts screaming at me for being mean to her when she said she liked me. She didn't say she liked me. She mouth raped me and I'm the asshole. I refused to apologize. My mother got called. My ma lost her it at the school. All of these make me feel pretty good that I wasn't alone in having a crazy GF at one point. Mine included stalking, convincing people she was pregnant, having her friends call me, then her getting on the phone when I was at someone else's house, following me to work, haircuts etc, suicide threats. Bought me a pager to keep track of me. Pager was quickly returned. Turned pastor of my church against me through lies. I ended up getting her to finally stop by just yelling at her and leaving her crying in the middle of college campus. People gave me all sorts of dirty looks, but I would just look at them and say, you have no ducking clue, man. This one girl kept hitting me up on AOL Instant Messenger for you young pups. My first year of college. I thought cool since I used to be awkward around girls that had the slightest showing of interest and usually scared them away. She was laying it on heavy about how she had some booze and nobody to drink it with. I had school the next day and hadn't really jumped into drinking yet. I was raised pretty conservatively, so I was just like, oh that sucks. Hopefully you find someone to share with. Went to school the next day and mentioned her name to a buddy of mine. He tells me, oh yeah, she's creepy and clingy AF and has been with pretty much every guy who falls for it. I noped out and blocked her. Only to get a new message request immediately after from a new screen name, and it's her again claiming to be a different person. This happened 5 times. Straight up weirdo. Same thing on Facebook and MySpace too. Oh yeah, good old MySpace. I had a month-long relationship with someone who was a tad unstable. Every other day during the relationship, she would be incredibly sad. Girl had some intense mood swings. She would be lovey-dovey one day and the next loud and argumentative. I probably let it last too long. Looking back on it now. Anyways, I broke it off and the next day she showed up at my job and said to my boss she was my wife and that something happened with our daughter. Well, when she walked up to me, she pulled out a knife and tried to stab me. Luckily we have decent security at my job and someone tackled her and restrained her until police showed. She ended up getting charged and now has some jail time. The security guy and I are good friends now. We play cards on the weekends, lol. Best comment of the day. Another time was about 3 years later. I'd been kicked out of where I was living. My friend, we can call her Michelle, said I could stay at hers till I got on my feet and her mum said it was okay. This was during a time I had been working out profusely. I miss that body. Dad got represent these days. Walked out of the shower thinking I was home alone, and Michelle's mum was in the kitchen. I walked from the bathroom to my makeshift bed with nothing on, laid down and decided it would be a good time to tug off. A little while later I'm going at it still. I see her out of the corner of my eye just staring at me. We lock eyes and I keep going. She looks at me and without a hint of nervousness tells me I'm doing it wrong. Proceeds to come over, squat next to me, runs her hand up her skirt and uses her own pussy juice as lube and jerks me off. I have no idea why I said it, but I said ouch, it's starting to feel a bit rough. She hops on top of me and slides it in and says, is this better? I replied with much better. This went on for 4 months. Even thought about going official, but Michelle's mum was too worried about what colleagues would say and how it would affect my friendship with her daughter. It ended when we almost got caught. A split second more and her ex-husband would have caught us. Luckily he was as dumb as a brick and 100% believed I was just using the shower cause of how young I was at the time. Michelle found out and severed all ties with me, as did many of our friend base. Caused a lot of private drama which resulted in them having to move and myself losing almost my entire friend base.